So this is our new Phillips ultrasound. So the first thing about this ultrasound is it has to stay plugged in because the battery life is not very long. The next thing is this power button is going to stay on at all times. This is not how we're going to turn on and off the machine because it takes a long time to load up. So when you want to turn on your machine, you're going to wake it up from sleep by pressing this half moon button here. This is what it's going to look like when you pull up the machine. The next thing that you want to do is the nurses will probably have this set to minus, meaning it'll be simplified controls. So you can unset it so you get all the controls available, or you can leave it simplified. For the purposes of, I think, this discussion, I'm going to leave it unsimplified. So now that your machine is on, they want us to record all of our ultrasounds. So you're going to start an exam. You're going to select new patient, and then you're going to type in the MRN and the last name. And then this down here at the bottom is your keyboard that can slide out and you can type on it. So I'm gonna skip this. So then once you start your exam, so then you want to select your transducer. So we have, this is your vascular access probe here. This is your phased array probe, or your cardiac probe. And then this is your basically your abdominal probe. So you guys probably won't use this one very much. So how to move between transducers is this button here, and it does take a second. So right now it's set to vascular access. So I'm going to press transducer. It's going to switch to cardiac. Other choice would be fast exam, which we don't really do here, and then back to vascular access. Now, if we want to switch between exams, which are just different presets for each probe, we press exam, and you can see here the exam choices up here are the presets. So right now it's set to vascular access. If you wanted to do an A-line, that's different presets. If you wanted to do a lung exam, that's different presets, all using that vascular access probe. So I'm going to leave it at vascular access for now. But if you wanted to go back and see, I'm going to show you just what would happen if we switched to cardiac, and then you want to check. Your first cardiac probe would be this top one here. And then if you're interested in doing other things like using it for a lung, for a thora would be fine, or you could use it for lots of different things, but those are probably the most common that we'd use. All right, so other buttons that you might use, if you want to, if the gain is funny, it's too light, too bright, you don't like how it's set, you press this eye scan button and it will automatically reset everything on your monitor to be like the generic, most basic settings. Then if you want to go through and adjust your depth, it's here, your gain is here. If you want to go back and when you're doing a lung exam, I'm going to go back to the vascular access one, and I'm just going to show you guys this because I think this is probably the exam that we'll do the most. So we went back to our vascular access probe, or an exam, so we're going to select the lung exam. I'm going to adjust our depth just a little bit so we can get a good picture, and then we're going to pick up our vascular access probe. So on our probe, this side over here with the gray stripe, this is your probe marker correlating to that P on the machine. So don't get confused with it because it has a slit on the other side. So when you're doing your lung exam, and you're gonna look at all the 6 different spots on the lung. So you're gonna always have the probe marker oriented to the patient's head, and then you're gonna look 1, 2, 3 down the chest. So up here under the clavicle, here in front of the sternum, and then over across the side looking for pneumothorax. So you guys can look at pictures of what that would look like. But one of the things that they're going to have you do is do M mode. If you need to do M mode looking for pneumothorax, that's going to be right here. So you're going to press M mode, and then it's just going to start start M mode, which is right there, and then you can take it off. When you're all done with the machine, oh sorry, this is it doing M mode. So we'll stop that. When you're all done with the machine and you want to prepare it for the nurses or somebody else to use, you can go back and you can simplify those controls again. And then you want to wipe it down. So you're going to lock the screen, and that takes away all the controls so that you don't bump anything when you wipe it. You can wipe it down. When you unlock it, you have to hold it for 3 seconds. It'll turn back on, and then you can put your machine to sleep with the boom button there.